Previously in this game, there was something called an absolute clean sweep by the Slayer set in terms of your external components. Depending on the build, it was either always the Slayer set for your damage or Annihilation for duration and damage for your firearm attack, but primarily for ability based, it was always forever the Slayer set. And we, even at this point in the game, had nothing that could compete with it until now. So let me show you this synergy that I clocked onto last night whilst I was experimenting with Viessa, and I explained and expanded on it, tested it with some other Descendants as well, and these are the results. So let's get on into it. So starting off, let me do this in the lab so I can eliminate all of the other varying factors. Now look at my skill cost as well, because this is a major thing. You can see my MP bar swiftly going straight down. In terms of my damage, my minimum damage is about 200,000 and my highest as of right now is 770,000. Or around about there, yeah, around about 700k is the peak of my damage, but I'm still hitting quite a fair amount of 200ks whilst doing this as well, and I'm just going to keep going until my third ability runs out. As you can see here, we're hitting 830k, there you go, my build's balling. But 830k being my damage peak and quite consistently hitting 200ks with the exact same setup. Now let me change from my Slayer set over to what I would recommend even more. What I'm recommending to you guys is going to be 2 pieces of the Enlightened Mage set, and then also it is going to be 2 pieces of the Plague set. Now this means that this will work on Descendants that have singular on them or have tech on them, which as of right now is probably more Descendants than you think. I'm going to quickly go on over which Descendants this works on after I have shown you a little bit of gameplay. But let's have a look at it over here. My skill cost is draining slower because Slayer set is not involved. My damage is shooting up even higher than it was. There you go, you can see way more 800ks, 880k there. I saw, like, my damage is consistently higher as well, which is pretty damn cool. I don't need to worry about damage on this because the damage is there. The skill cost being reduced is nicer, meaning if I was to use this in dungeons, I'd be able to sprint for a little bit longer. You don't really need to use Bunny's second ability if you have a sprint weapon, but I just like turning it on for the sake of turning it on, and it helps build electric condense. But that is the gameplay with Bunny. So let's have a look at Viessa, because this set does actually make Bunny stronger, but it's not always going to be like that. With Viessa, I still think the Slayer set is the superior one, and I'm going to prove that as well. From the gameplay, you can see here, you've seen that these numbers on screen are fairly strong, good strong 600ks, but once we do end up changing over to the Slayer set, for Viessa specifically at least, the Slayer set hits higher bursts of damage, or just straight up higher numbers of damage, which I think is obviously something that you need to be keeping in mind. It's not always going to be stronger with every single Descendant, but it does definitely depend on your build more so than anything else, I would say. Like here, you can see these 750ks being higher damage on the Slayer set. But is it an astronomical amount of damage? I don't think so. Between 10 to 20k damage is of course damage. Even 20 to 50, 70k is still a big difference, but realistically when you're hitting over 500,000 damage with some abilities or even into the millions, I don't think that's going to make a difference. If you're going to one-shot them, you'll be one-shotting them anyways, and that is honestly the hard truth. Now let's talk about what this means for some Descendants. This means that you'll be able to finally change the build. It means you'll be able to get rid of your MP collector on some builds, because some Descendants really direly needed MP collector due to Slayer set, Valby being one of them as an example, which is something I'm working on as well. I've updated my Valby, so that is going to also be coming soon in a video as well. But you can see this as an example. Builds are going to be changing now because the Enlightened Mage and Plague kinda actually fuck, so that is an example. And on top of that, this just means that we've finally got something that rivals Slayer set, which is honestly the most refreshing thing out of them all. Now let me go on over every single Descendant that this will affect. So let's start off by going through this big old list over here and talk about every single Descendant. Now if you are using Ajax's Jumping Jacks build, this will work and will give you more damage out of it as well as reducing your skill cost. I'm not going to say that it's going to reduce your skill cost every single way, I'm just going to talk about each individual Descendant and how it would help them. Now with Ajax, of course, tech on his 2 and 3, so that is going to work out quite nicely. So this is going to be very friendly and very good for Ajax on the jumping build specifically. Replace that Slayer set on the Ajax. Next up, Blair. This really wouldn't make a difference. Singular on Blair doesn't really do anything apart from give him his MP back, so it's not really going to be worthwhile on Blair specifically. Next up, Bunny. Bunny with her 3rd ability, absolutely, 100%. This is going to be absolutely great on Bunny and going to give you a ton of damage. As you saw, you know, Bunny was one of my examples. It's going to be a good shout on Bunny. Now with Enzo, he does have Singular on his 1st and his 4th ability. I'm pretty sure they are not affected by skill power, so on Enzo I don't think it makes a difference, and you don't really run damage on Enzo's skills anyways. So for Enzo it would be absolutely fine, don't need to worry about that one anyways. Next up we have Esimo. Now I did recently post a video on Esimo, and replacing that set with this one would honestly make a lot of difference. Esimo's abilities kind of suffered from them skill costs, so this would definitely go and help Esimo out as well. Also, I'm gonna go back and like change every single one of my builds to be running this anyways. Next up we had Freyna. Now Freyna already is still stronger with Slayer set than she is with Plague set, or at least with all 4 Plague set. With this instance, I don't think she's going to be as strong as a full Slayer set, of course, because they might be up and down a little bit, but when 3 out of 4 of her abilities are tech, especially the 1st and the 3rd ability, and even the 4th, you're going to have a pretty good time rocking this with Freyna. That reduced skill cost means you can absolutely shove MP Collector off your builds and go for ambush, even more damage out there, so you know, you can outplay yourself over here. With Glay, her abilities don't need damage anyways, so Glay isn't really going to make much of a difference anyways, so don't worry about that one. With Haley, this one with Haley would actually help her because her 2nd and her 4th ability are of course singular, so this would actually be quite nice of a touch on Haley specifically. Jaber, even though you hate to see it, it would affect Jaber's 4th ability, I believe. I'm not 100% sure how, but I believe it would actually affect his 4th ability. So yes, if you are using a Jaber build, please do put this on your Jaber. Next up we have Kyle. Kyle, yeah, his 1st and his 4th ability attack, so this one is going to help out on Kyle too. Lepic, this is 100% going to help out on, because that 4th ability is tech, and then the 2nd ability is singular as well. His 3rd ability isn't a damaging ability, but even his 1st one is tech too, so this will also help out. With Luna, I've just dropped a video talking about that. Mage set entirely for Luna is going to be the best, but this would still give Luna some fairly good damage, and I might need to retest this one as well. Sharon, this isn't going to affect her because she doesn't have singular or tech. Valby, same story, no singular or tech. Viessa. Now if you are going with the absolute 0 build, this will of course affect Viessa because all of her abilities will become singular. Cold-blooded, this will again affect her because her ability is tech. Eugen, I don't know whether his 1st and 3rd ability scale off actual you know, the ability damage, so I believe it would work on Eugen, but I'm not 100% sure. Please do not quote me on that. Next up, we've got Ines and Serena, which aren't really on here. With Serena, you still stay using the Ascending Armory set because that's her best set. However, with Ines, if you are running Slayer, this would actually be a nice touch. I just don't have the images on Serena and Ines's abilities like this, so forgive me. But yeah, that's essentially everything in this video, and I just wanted to push this concept out there because I want to see what other people do with this. So please do give this a test, mess around with your builds, so on and so forth, and let me know what you guys come up with. But anyways guys, that's basically been this video, and I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!